The introduction you just heard, I've been living in these problems for 30 years. I have to update my bio. BuildingEase is solving a different set of problems than a lot of the other tech platforms that predated us. I typically say we're standing on the shoulders of giants. BuildingEase is free to use for project teams and owners. We were the first official tech partner to Mindful back in 2023. BuildingEase combines pieces from the product catalog, which everyone needs, to complete workflow tool for project teams and buyers club to reduce the cost of the best products, improve sales for those products that are in the most demand, and a reuse, salvage, circularity piece of the platform. There's a lot that I could talk about that's going to be launched at Greenbuild, but I'm going to focus on one aspect today in particular. But a few things to know about BuildingEase as a platform. Our values are aligned with democratizing data. One of our biggest campaigns is death to spreadsheets. We all have wasted way too many hours on spreadsheets, whether it's with firms or manufacturers having to fill out a million spreadsheets. No offense to Microsoft, spreadsheets are wonderful, just not for this purpose. We've also automated standard setting. So firms who are gigantic have a hard time knowing when we make a good decision about health, how do we know that decision is going to be made consistently across every project? The only way to make sure that happens is automation, which is what we do with one-click compliance checking, easy to see what complies and what doesn't. And we port data out anywhere. So manufacturers, especially those who have amazing certifications, HPD data, declare, etc., you don't want to be filling out spreadsheets or sending your data to other platforms. We port that out for free. How many of you are obsessed with specifications? Specifications have been the holy grail that everyone, manufacturers, we want to get in specs. How many of the products that are in specs get dropped by the time the products are procured? Think about that. Maybe put it in the chat. We assume that specs are the answer, but the truth is that typically across projects, 40% of what's in the spec is not installed. It's either cut for cost or there's unwanted substitutions. We are blocking all of that. We want the healthiest products to maintain in the project through installation. Are important, but not enough to stop this leak. What I'm going to focus on today is a brand new thing that is so exciting. Every time I present it, I get goosebumps. There's a consultancy that developed a program called Basic, Better, Best. They've been using this way of prioritizing and assessing products through spreadsheets and then Airtable, and that's not really scalable and not usable by the whole industry. So I'm going to focus on that because it truly is an easy button, especially for firms who have not yet figured out how to develop their standards or what their standards should be. This is going to enable a tipping point in the industry to accelerate the adoption of the best choices across all projects and portfolios. In order to talk about Basic, Better, Best, I first have to start talking about the common materials framework, which is the foundation upon which Basic, Better, Best is built. Now, for those of you who, I don't know, have been on the moon, the AIA Materials Pledge is a voluntary program where firms sign up and commit to strategically improving the specification of better materials. Mindful Materials is the partner to AIA, developing the common materials framework, which is done by industry contribution. Mindful Materials is a nonprofit, so it's industry-driven, industry-led, and the point is to try and make sense out of this landscape, which is overwhelming, especially for younger junior designers coming into the market and being hit with 600 and more certifications, which is overwhelming for everyone. The point of what Mindful is focusing on, creating a common language. and aligning both the demand and supply side of the market so that we can all waste less time using slightly different language, using spreadsheets, knowing what the demand is and what the answer is. We can't make progress and transform the market unless we have an aligned language. When one person says healthy, that might mean something else to another person. One might be focusing on specific chemicals and red list language. Another is taking a class-based approach. One person's talking about optimization, another about transparency. Mindful materials and the development of the common materials framework is the basis for aligning momentum with critical strategic industry, all of these things that you're hearing about today. There's been a long process with a lot of people working collaboratively in a way I have never seen in the past 30 years to really develop and define what does it mean for a product to be sustainable. In all of these 5 impact areas, human health is still the top priority for every owner we're working with. Even though carbon is a priority, health is remaining up there. The work of the CMF is to develop this foundation. First phase was defining what do we mean by each of these impact areas. And the second step is how do we prove that? How do we vet products? The only way to vet products is based on transparency documentation and third-party certifications. There's also verification and affidavits that manufacturers can produce and vendors who do that. So all of this work has come together, especially this year, to simplify the complexity that exists, making it more user-friendly so people know what do we do. So for clarity, the CMF, the Common Materials Framework, defines the landscape and the attributes of what defines a product. The BBB Collaborative builds on the CMF and is creating a tool to make that actionable by firms and owners everywhere. Brightworks was the original author of the BBB, but its continued development is in collaboration with Perkins and Will, Green Commons, formerly Building Green, with some clients that have been working on that forever. We are the technology partner that has automated this using some proprietary technology we've developed so that it can be usable by everyone. And that's what we're going to be launching at Greenbuild. So come talk to any one of us at Greenbuild. It's exciting, hot off the presses, and launching this year. CMF is only the attributes and laying out which certification should you look for, but that doesn't give any weighting or prioritization. Even with the CMF, we're still at risk to doing this again, to having, one firm have one weighting of the CMF, another having another, and taking pieces and parts of it Frankensteining, and then we still end up without the alignment we need to really move the market. The BBB, Basic, Better, Best, looks at class-based avoidance. Does the product have any of these things? Based on product categories, the geniuses in the collaborative are going category by category, understanding the different weighting that needs to happen based on a different product category. The BBB pilot includes a few manufacturers who are leaders in helping us develop this, including Shaw Contract, Rockphone, and Kingspan, helping them and them helping us understand what are the issues specific to their category, and then where do we set the bar so that we can define what are the things that everyone should be avoiding, what has already been shown to be avoidable in the industry. So this is not just pie in the sky, it's grounded in what is available in the market today. We can't just say best is unicorn feather insulation. There might be things that we want that just don't exist yet. B is taking a class-based approach and looking at basic for product category A. Here's what everyone can avoid right now based on what's in the market. Better, what can be avoided? And best, what are the next level focus that can be eliminated? Once those things are applied, it's really easy to connect the dots to show which HPD, declare, C2C, what are the certifications and third-party transparency documentations that support this level of basic, better, and best? And then how does that prioritize what exists in the foundation, the common language, the CMF, and how does that get built upon? The result of this is one central library that's moving out of Airtable and is in BuildingEase right now, just not visible to the masses quite yet, but soon. And then being able to do that, you can look at each product, have each product automatically assessed, and then it shows up in specific owner or firm branded portals. And that means everyone within that organization sees the same results. I want to make it super clear. Basic, better, best is not a certification. It's not a one size fits all. Different clients, different owners, or different firms can have different priorities. One product might show up best for one client, better for another, and basic for another. It's a tool to make it easy to do the right thing based on the CMF, but it is not a single answer. It is not a certification that says this product is always the best. It's a way of giving people a tool to automate what does that look like for this client. So it's not saying your product is bad and your product is good. It's based on this. How do you fit in to different client priorities? That's coming in BuildingEase this year. It's being used already by pilot owners. Lastly, all of this is being supported by Mindful Materials with new things being launched this year. A data ecosystem report, which is super interesting for the geeks among us. And the second thing is an implementation toolkit for designers and product manufacturers, guidance to help folks do this at scale. For design firms, this is what it looks like in terms of time to go through the painful process of creating standards. This is what could be replicable by using the CMF, basic, better, best. And that's our whole mission, to make it easy to do the right thing.